Good morning. My name is Brenda Salzano, and I like to do surface design and create my own patterns. The patterns that I create are already pre-printed on a fat quarter. I like to keep them very simple. This is one of my new ones, and I'm just working on the prototyping, perfecting it out, and it's working out really well and has already started to sell on my Spoonflower account. A sample of them, and this was the very first one I made, is this, and it's called the Techie Bag or Techie Pouch. And in this, you can put all of your tech things. So this is a really long wire from my plugins, and it has this shows the wrap, and you'll have a different design for like 5 different designs for your wraps. And then you can put, it has 3 pockets inside, and you put your earplugs, your flash drives, anything to do with your little tech stuff that you got to keep in your backpack or in your favorite drawer or whatever. It's for a handy way to organize all your little tech things. And like I said, you get 5 little extra wraps with it. So today I just wanted to show you really quick how they are put together in case you get one of these fat quarters and you want to do it. There is instructions on the fabric, and I want to put up this little video along with, there's a bunch of pictures on my blog. And you'll find the link to my blog is always on the Spoonflower site right underneath my avatar, and I'll probably be able to put a link in this video. So it'll come on the fat quarter, and I don't have a fat quarter to show you what it looks like laid out, but you have all your pieces on there. The only thing you're going to supply is the Velcro that you're going to put on the flaps and on your little wire wraps. So I've already did a little bit. You're going to have 4 pieces, a front and a back, and then 2 of what we call the flaps. So on the flaps, the first thing I did, and these are not the fabric that you will see on there. This is one of my reptilian fabrics, and then I do have the tech fabric. So this is like the front, and there's another one for the back, just like this one. And it has all the, I should show you, it has, you know, like your phone, and here's a plug in and your ear pods, a flash drive, you got a flip phone. It's just a techie. It's like techie geek. And the flaps, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to hem these. So I've already hemmed down the sides, and I just did a single hem there, but on one side of it, either this side or this side, the top or the bottom, I do a double roll. So 1/8 in iron, and then roll it again 1/8 inch, and then you sew around, leaving one raw edge. So I've got 2 of those already done and ready to apply. Now on this, one of these, you want to make sure you're sure of which is the top and which is the bottom, and you can change it if you want to. This just shows you the best, and this is the top. So this is going to be right sides together. Always remember right sides together. And you're going to center these across the top. And I'm going to do that now, and then I'll show you what it looks like. I'm trying to make it, I kind of lay them out on the fabric, and then you'd like clip them on or something. Don't leave too much of a gap between the 2 across the top. You're not gonna have it even with the sides. Can you see the side there? That's the side. But there is going to be a gap. Choose a little bit of a gap there, but not a lot, because you're going to be hemming up those sides, and you just want this to, because one side of the flap will be on one side of the bag, and the other flap will be on the opposite side of the bag. So you're going to just kind of, I just kind of eyeball it. I use usually a 1/8 inch seam for most of my products, because on a fat quarter I have to really be conscious of not wasting any space in order to get these projects on there. I have quite a few now patterns showing different things that you can make, especially if you're a beginner sewer, intermediate sewer, or if you're an experienced sewer and you just want things that are fast and easy to make and then resell at craft shows or give away as gifts. Make sure these are right sides together. Make sure that your double edge fold is down on the bottom of the flap, not where you're sewing it to the main body. Usually you will choose, I think it's the back side of your your little pouch that you sew these on. Like I said, usually both sides are the same so you can switch them off and on. It just matters when you start turning them inside out. Be sure and clip any extra strings off. If you have extra on the seam line, above the seam line there, you can trim that off so there's not so much bulk when you go to turn these inside out. This is a folded thing, so you want to make sure you don't have a lot of bulk. Also, you always want to see, after you cut out your fabric, after it's washed and everything, you want to make sure like the front and the back line up well, and you can trim those before you start sewing so that they, you know, hold them together, right sides together, and then trim around so it's nice and even, excuse me. And make sure you iron it. Ironing always helps in the steps. Okay, this is how it looks now on the back side. And then this is what it looks like after you've done sewing here. Now I'm going to run over to the iron and just iron that real quick. And you want to iron it up towards the flap. I'll show you what I mean. Ironing really sets your stitches really nice. It helps you to be able to sew easier also because it keeps everything nice and even and you can see where you're going. You won't get extra gaps and stuff. Okay, it was important to have this part here pointing towards the top, not towards the bottom, because this now I'm going to iron down and it's going to hide that seam completely, and I'm going to line it up with the stitch line, but I'm hiding the seam inside, so then when this is done the seam will be in there and you won't be able to see it. I'll go do that now. Like I said, I like my projects to be easy and fast. And of course, the special thing about getting my fat quarters is that they're already designed with these one-of-a-kind designs and only sold on Spoonflower. So it will set your gifts and your objects that if you sew it up to sell, that they're going to be unique. Now you can see that this is where I'm going to be sewing it. There's how the front. And that's where I'm going to be sewing. I'll sew that up. I think another key to sewing is to kind of take your time. I mean, these are fast projects, but don't be in a hurry. Do it when you just want to relax. And it does help you to relax when you're sewing. Unless, of course, you have a whole lot of boo-boos that to rip out. That's a little frustrating. Be sure and backstitch every time you leave a fabric or an extra one in between edges. I don't always do it if that edge is going to be enclosed in a seam though, just to save time. Ironing saves a lot of time. You can iron where the seam's going to be, and that way it's much faster. You can save like one whole part of it by having those already ironed up where it's going to be. The more you sew, you'll more understand. Okay, we've got the whole front and the flaps are done. Now leaving the flaps straight up because they eventually are going to be folded down. But now I want to put this right sides together with the front. So I'm going to do a hem on the front right here at the top of the back. I'm going to do a hem first. And then I'm going to sew it down the sides and the back and up the other side. So let me do this hem first. I think I will iron this really fast because I am going to do a double hem on this. Like I said, with the double hem, it's nice to iron that flat. On the first turnover, I turn it over 1/8 of an inch. Approximately 1/8 of an inch. Could be a little bit more. I just know where to put it on my finger, where I want it. And then I go and turn it again and iron it again down. That way I don't have to pin it. I do use clips every now and then. But this way, instead of having to sew that first roll under and then roll it under again and sew it again, that's just a waste of thread and time, in my opinion. Anyway, so here we have, you're not going to be able to see it. This outfit I have haven't figured out how to get it down on the sewing, but I'll sew this up and show you what I mean. In other words, there's not going to be any raw edges, because this is going to show your top pocket. One of your pockets inside. You don't want a raw edge there if you can help it. Doesn't really show too much like at first, but after you've washed it, then you may have fraying, and you don't really want that inside. You don't want to have to deal with frayed strings hanging out the sides. Okay, you see it's been rolled twice. There's no frayed edges. It's a nice line now for that top. Now we have the two sides and the bottom. I'm going to put this right side with this right side. This is right sides together. Put them together. And they're going to go just under where the flaps are hinging. So you can see that. That's where it's lined up. I'm going to go down the side, across the bottom, and back up. You do want to line that top up and then follow that seam line that you already did on the flaps. And follow that down. You can, on this little pattern, if you wanted to put a little tab and then like a snap, that would be real easy to do when you're doing these sides. If that's something you want to do, you can look at some of my other patterns, like especially my snap-on bag. It's called the hipster bag. If you look to see how I do that, that's easy to insert right here on the side. And then you'd have it so that you could snap it onto your backpack or something, which would be nice too. I think the next one I make, I'll do that. The flaps are nice because on two of the pockets, it Velcro's closed, so you can have things in there that's not going to fall out, whatever you're doing. Two of your pockets. The inside pocket, the one in the very middle, is big enough for most iPhones, your little smartphones, whichever phone you have. But whatever else you want to put in there, it's a nice big pocket. I mean, for a small pouch, it carries a lot of stuff. I just like that it keeps it organized. I get frustrated when all my wires are all tangled up, and I love having these little pre-printed wire wraps. You just put Velcro on one end, and then the Velcro on the other side on the other end. so that when you roll it around your wire, you can just Velcro it shut and you keep your wires all neat and tidy. I'm on the last side. This is what I mean by, there's a little bit going to stick out here when you got right sides together. So this seam line, you want to just follow that down. And of course I've done the bottom all the way back up to the other side. And I'm going to trim this off now. So we get rid of that bulk. On the corners, like these little corners, don't get real close to your stitching, but do a cut like this to cut the little triangle off. And that way it won't have bulk down in that corner. See, on the other corner, I'll do the same. I just put these up the other day and I was surprised to see that I have a really good response to people wanting to make these little tech bags. Well, so many, if you're my age, we have our kids are, that's totally what they're into. Obviously, I didn't grow up with all kinds of technology. When I was going to school, there was TV. When we first got the TV, it was black and white. And as long as I can remember, except for maybe when I was in high school, we were only allowed to watch it like an hour in the evening or something with family. It was not just a free watch whenever you want to. Okay, we've got this. We've got this done with the two on one side, the flaps on the one side. You can see it making one big pocket right now. It's all in like this. Well, now you're going to want to turn this whole thing in and out. So the right side is outside now. Oops, some strings to cut off. My first try at making this, because I was just coming up with the idea, and I had this one, matter of fact, it's the one that I have right here. I did it wrong and my flaps don't lead anything. So all the pockets are inside, but the flaps aren't covering. And I'll show you why that happened. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. It's turned inside out. If I folded this, now right now the flaps are on the back. If I fold it in like this, then your flaps go down over nothing. So you want to make sure you fold it with the flaps on the inside. So when you're folding it, those flaps are going on the inside. And now you can see there's a pocket here, there's a pocket here, and there's going to be this pocket in the center, because we're not going to sew the flaps. I could sew down each one, but it'll be separately, not together. Together, I'm going to sew down and across the bottom. Separately, I could sew the flap because there's a little hole here. But on second thought, what if I want to stick something in there? I don't think I'll sew in there. So I'm not going to sew that part. Now this is thicker material, but I've been able to do it with the cotton just fine. I don't know, You might have to do an extra, little bit wider stitch if you're going to do it on the linen cotton or more like a denim. If you did it on a denim, and then you're going to have to readjust your stitching and what kind of needle you're using. Just remember not to sew down those pockets, and if you do sew them together, you probably want to do them separately even before you do the fold. Probably ought to iron that too before you did it. I didn't with these. I just kind of used my hand and pressed it down really hard. I get as close to the edge as I can, but still making sure that it's going to hold all the pieces well. Sometimes it helps to start up forward a little bit and then just go back to where you want it to go. And I do that a couple times right over that top part because that gets the most strain where you're putting things in and out. I really think if you were making these for craft fairs, I think you could sell a lot of these. And if you time it right, Spoonflower, sign up for Spoonflower's newsletters, because then you'll get advance notice of when they're going to have like 20, 30, or 50% off fat quarters. And that's when you want to buy your little projects that you're going to be making for craft shows. Or if you're going to buy gifts and you're getting ready ahead and saving money, just watch for those sales. Let me go iron this really quick and I'll show you the finished product. Get all these little things off of here. Like I said, all this needs now is the Velcro, which I'll have to do that, and I don't have to put this in here. I'm sure you'll figure that out. I buy those little round ones that are sticking on both sides, and they're 4 fabric, and they wash up okay. Now, if you get one that's kind of cheaply made, you may want to add a little extra fabric glue on that Velcro to make it last longer. But here's the little finished bag. And this is the big pocket inside. And then you have a pocket here. And then you lift your flap on the other side. And remember, it'll have Velcro right there. And then here's your pocket there. Now the inside one, you'll see the very inside one is completely lined again. The side pockets have the inside of the fabric, so it's not lined. You would have a lot of bulk if you do that, but it's up to you. I mean, if you wanted to do that, you could probably figure that out. But the fat quarter can only get this much fabric in there. Now, what I'm not showing you today is how to do the little zip ties, or whatever you want to call them. They're not really a zip tie, or Velcro tie. So each one comes with a different little design. You get 5 of them, and here's how I put them together. You put one, because Velcro has 2 pieces. So one side I put on this side. It's not the top, but on the other side, at the top, I put the other side of the Velcro. So that when I want to do and start to put something on there, then it wraps around and Velcros. So So you get 5 of these. That'll be different on each one. I have 2 already for sale, 2 different designs on sale. We got this green one, a blue one, and I have a really cool grunge kind of one with the same design, but it's got a kind of a grunge top. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you try this out. I think you're really going to like this as a gift or things to make. You have a good day, and if you have questions, like your beginning questions or something, be sure and write me. You can write to me on Spoonflower. Just send me a little note there. Or I don't usually see the comments on YouTube, so you might miss me there. I try to look at them every now and then, but I don't do it very often. I'm so busy with the other things. Thank you for watching again. You have a great day. Have fun.